Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? It's your boy Senior V.
What's good? It's your boy Cash.
What's good? It's your boy Jeremiah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the Men Melanin back like always, back like always. Y'all doing good today?
They were doing awesome. I can't complain.
Man, we got a good one for you. We got a wonderful guest. I'm pretty sure she can introduce herself.
I'm Jazzy. I have a podcast called The More Life Pod. We talk about healing, transitions through life, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, I like it. I like it. We definitely appreciate you for coming on.
No problem.
Episode we got for today, generational trauma. But before we get into that, you already know my boy Cash got a pregame. He like to
Yeah,
throw
you
it.
already know how it goes. So
Talk
I
to me.
ask you,
Talk to me.
ladies and gentlemen, this question. What's something that our generation does that our ancestors would laugh at? Because, we have different perspectives, different styles. We kind of move very different from our ancestors. What's something,
The way
like an ancestor come drop on this earth right now, they like, what you think they going to be like?
the way
What
we,
they going to say?
the way we dress.
For sure.
So,
Think so?
yes, bro. They
That's-
will walk in the room like, what the hell do everybody have on? Or like how we TikTok, how we like all like social media,
Mhm.
like they'll be like, what is that?
I think if they just experience a night out in Houston, I think they'll definitely, be livid. Livid.
They might tee up.
You think so?
No.
Shit,
I don't think they're gonna tee up.
for sure.
They just gonna be too hurt.
Why would they be too hurt?
That's what they fought for?
To have a good time.
Nah.
They fought for their hookah.
They going to start praying.
Bro said they fought for
They fought for their
They
hookah.
just gonna
That's
start
crazy.
praying out there.
You
They
think
just gonna
so?
start praying. Oh Lord, you already know how they get.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm already
Lord.
knowing.
What's going
I'm already
on?
knowing. What about you? What do you think?
The fact that everybody thinks everything is so funny. Like nobody takes anything serious now. So
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think they will come and they'll just be like trying to wonder. It may go on like I wouldn't say a scavenger hunt, but they're gonna be going around just to see what's really going on. Trying to see like what's the communities like, what the families like. They're gonna be really upset, seeing a lot of single parents for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And mixed relationships.
Yeah, they ain't gonna know what's going on.
They gonna get upset.
What is this, baby? What is this?
Yeah, bro.
Why is this baby light?
Bro said, what is
What does
this?
baby belong to? Yours?
No, facts. That kind of does bring us into what we, talking about as far as the generational and then the trauma part of the sense. So, first question I do have on the board: what role does trauma play in someone's upbringing? We're very, we try to be good black man and be make sure the ladies go first. We want to be gentlemen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, reread the question.
Don't talk to me. So, what role does trauma play in someone's upbringing?
I think it plays a vital role, especially when you become an adult. Because I feel like all the things that you dealt with kind of, come out when you start dating people or when you have certain friendships or, the relationship with yourself. So,
No, facts. What about you, Cash?
I mean, I kind of agree with what she said. How you grew up as a child. What you saw at home, what you were told to do, what you've seen in your endeavors in your neighborhood or your environment. It kind of shapes how you present yourself, to the world. Whether it be, you grew up in the neighborhood. All the men was running women up and down the street, all across the county, and. So I feel like that's something you would try to embody, once you put yourself forward towards the world. And that's the same that goes for anybody that grows up in a good home where, you see a man have one wife, and have a loving family. You're going to try to also kind of bestow that upon the world. So I just think, what you see, and what you hear is kind of very imperative of how you're going to represent yourself towards the world.
Talk to me.
It affects them mentally, spiritually, and physically.
Facts.
It affects them how they think. Well, when they grow up, they're gonna be a lot different. They're gonna shut out their emotions, shut out other people that's trying to help them. And if they don't get a hold on it very early, it can really take a bad turn. When you're dealing with trauma and you growing up, you have to talk to somebody. You have to have people you trust in your corner to really to really guide you through. It's not trauma is I feel like it's a lifetime that you're gonna have to deal with it. It's
You don't
not
think it can go away?
it would never go away. I feel like it would never go away.
Mm.
But as you live on, I feel like it would get I don't want to say easier, but
You know how to manage it?
yeah, you would know how to, instead of getting angry or flashing out, you know how to, be peaceful with it and live with it.
So then it probably should go. It should.
It's not gonna go away, but
I feel like if you get to that point though, if you know how to manage it, you get to a point where you know something come up or a situation gives you like flashbacks of back then, but as that comes up and you like handle it correctly,
Mhm.
you don't get mad or whatever, flash out, crash out. You just stay calm and understand what's going on and present yourself in that way. I feel like it's gone.
No,
I think the trauma is how you say it? I think it's probably like the trauma will never go away, but like it doesn't affect you anymore.
Eh,
I think it still does affect you,
yeah,
but I don't think that it's as amplified as it
yeah,
used to be.
yeah. Like for example, like if somebody like would lose their mother,
Mm.
that's not gonna go away.
But
I mean, of course.
It's not, but over time they're gonna, feel better about it. But they're still gonna have that feeling like, damn, I feel empty.
I don't know about that.
What you mean?
Cause like I feel like, I mean, if it's just like any situation, like you have something that triggers you, but if you don't get triggered,
Just because
how
you
you
just
like I
because
don't
you
think it
don't
affects you no more. It might still be there, but it can't affect you
So
if you.
why do you think that?
That's like you for example, if somebody like that comes, some people, not saying everybody or anybody, but I'm saying, what if somebody be like, oh, I hate this person. I hate this person, be pissing me off. But like after a while, they don't even like that person comes around that they hate or that pisses them off, but they start coming around more and it doesn't piss them off no more. So it's like you could still probably, not be fond of that person, but however, like whatever they have going on that situation, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't, cause you to do anything to react. So I don't know how it could still be there, but like if
you
it's
just
not affecting you, how is it like? You know what I'm saying? Like
I
how
oh,
is
get
it?
what you're
You
saying.
know what I'm saying? Like how is it still there? That's just me though. That's just me.
for sure.
guess you saying you can forgive but never forget.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect example.
Mm.
Like you understand. That's like if somebody keep doing you wrong, keep doing you wrong. However, though, you're not gonna put yourself in that position to get yourself done wrong again. But you're not gonna crash out or flash out on a person.
Mm.
So you know what they're capable of, or you know what they've done to you in the past. But that doesn't mean you just forgive them and move on from that. But I do see what you're saying. Where because situation does arise later on in life, and it
Mm.
could bring out another level.
Mm.
So it just depends. It really depends on the person. As far that's me though.
I think it depends on the person and the situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you say that though?
Because I feel like some situations, like you gonna forever think about, or you gonna forever, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, you always gonna go back to that at some point. I don't think it's gone completely. I think it's kind of like hidden under the surface, but I don't think that it's gone.
Well, if you say that, have you say you've forgiven that person? If you,
Yeah, I can forgive you,
Mhm.
but I feel like the trauma's still here. I feel like it's something that you live with every day.
So then now I'm gonna go a little deeper in the rabbit hole now. Take a little turn. So I'm saying, let's say in a relationship situation,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna bring everybody has baggage.
Mm-hmm.
But to be successful in that next relationship, even if we're not even talking about relationships, be the next, be successful in that next situation, job, whatever, you gotta leave that stuff behind.
Yeah, I don't feel like you should hold people to what has been done to you. Yes.
Mm.
But I'm going to always, I wouldn't say wonder, but I'm going to always make sure that I don't go through that again. Like,
So how would you do that though? That's reverting back to your old habit.
no, I don't think so. I
Talk to
think it's
me.
just being aware of who I am,
Mm.
really paying attention to who they are, how they move and stuff like that.
So what if you had a situation where person in your past did you wrong, certain whatever situation, but the person that you know have that are dealing with now, I would say not do the same. They don't do the same thing, but like certain stuff they do remind you of that. But it doesn't, it's not really. I want to say it's like,
Triggering?
yeah, it's not really triggering. So would you like
It's
protect yourself in that way because the stuff they're doing, and that's a new thing, not the old situation.
I feel like I'ma always be guarded if it's something similar,
Hmm.
but I can't hold them to what somebody else has done to me. So like what you say?
No, no, go ahead. I'm listening.
I can't hold them to what somebody else has done to me.
Mhm.
Like yeah, you a new person. I might not take it as serious as I did the last person, but I got my eye on you.
See why you got your eye on them? You just ready for them to do something. You know what I'm saying?
I'm having my eye on anybody.
That's fair. That's fair. But I'm saying if you not gonna hold that against that new person, why bring it with you?
You feel like that's bringing it with you though? I think that's just being um safe.
Mm. I
Because
like that.
everybody is not
I like
safe.
that. What you mean by everybody not safe?
Everybody's not a safe person, whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally. Everybody's not safe.
Depending on the conversation between the two, the that person, this person. But I see what you're saying though. Like you may be able to connect with somebody different than the other person. So I give you that. I give you that. So now my next question is: do you think that generational trauma can be overlooked because of family or close friends?
Uh, Personally, I would say yes. I feel like the way I grew up, the way my family is, like they were seemed to always have things put together. Like they were always looked at as, oh, they really look put together, this, that, and the third. But it's like when you go inside the home,
Hmm.
ain't nobody really checking in on anybody's emotions, anybody's mental capacity. You seeing different stuff that they don't want to show the outside. So it's kind of like,
Yeah,
are you really being your true self?
yeah.
So yeah.
What about you, brother?
I agree with what she said. A lot of black families and my family as well, we don't really speak on what we've been through. We often, have that tough mentality, especially as men in my family.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We always put on that, that have that Thor hammer.
Thor him was crazy. Everybody was trying to pick that motherfucker up. They couldn't do it.
But yeah, it just have that, that mindset where whatever we going through, we can like get through it on our own. Like we don't really talk about it, so we do overlook it. Like it's damn. We do have moments in my family where we kind of when we come together for like holidays and stuff, and I don't want to say lash out, but we have a serious conversation about family.
I
And
think that's everybody though.
what you saying?
I think that's that. I'm pretty sure most black communities have the same thing.
I wouldn't say that. Lie. Not saying my family don't do it, but I know, I mean, throughout the community, unity is not a big part of the black community in
Mm-hmm.
Nah, yeah,
2025. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of fans that go. I mean, they like to fellowship just like Houston nightlife. Drink,
yeah.
smoke together, have
Yeah,
have a lady time. They ain't talking about get your life together. They talking about this.
but like that's what I'm saying though. We're talking about trauma, and that's what we need to do. So often
Mhm,
we see, we often do see like in the black communities, we carry that mentality of like we strong, we can survive, but like a lot of times that that's just like acts out of like resistance and trying to silence the pain that we really going through.
Mm-hmm.
So like, should we really overlook just because we here just having a good time, or like should we really dive in deep and see what's really going on? Because you might just link up for the what I'm saying, there's just any holiday might just link up for like a Thanksgiving or something like that.
mhm,
You got the whole family there.
Yeah.
mhm,
At the end of the day, like you probably got somebody auntie and and,
mhm,
and, and a cousin, they damn near finna fight,
mhm,
but like we just gonna keep overlooking it and not, you know what I'm saying? Because you never
mhm.
know what can happen the next day.
When everybody leave the house.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like,
I
what
mean,
what we need to do?
I guess I mean for some parts in the black community, I mean, it may be kind of hard to overlook, as an adolescent because I mean, when we're younger, we may see things that may look pleasant. Let's say, for example, you're in a family, I guess your pops and your his pops was like the biggest drug dealers in the neighborhood. They had all the chicks, woo de woo, and you probably seen it, verbatim, like you really witnessing and stuff like that. And you like, oh, I want to be like that. Oh, carry the family name
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. I want to be like that, flashy, but they don't show you, the negatives of that, getting in trouble with the laws or just trouble with women in general, and all the valleys and alleys that they had to go through. They don't see that,
Mm,
but they just see the money, cars, girls, and stuff like that, and that can play a role into overlooking because they don't really see the bad stuff. They just see what they see as a kid. Oh, I want to do that too.
mm.
I want to be like that too.
They
That's
don't.
my
They don't.
last name.
Yeah,
I want to do it too. So I want to be a part of that lineage. So
yeah.
you know.
I don't think they really understand what it like really come with. I mean, just because like a family looks functional
Mm-hmm.
or successful doesn't mean like they're not they don't experience like inherited wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I seen like a lot of times the black community we try to like protect the image more than like people in our family.
inside the house.
You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely think that's something we need to like look at and fix. But however, what do you think are the steps to like we can fix that? Like I think the only way is communication is key to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like we can't like once you get a chance to have all the family there, just sit down
Mm-hmm.
and have a talk. Even if it's like y'all do it once a year at the Thanksgiving or even every holiday where you have everybody there so you can have that conversation. Cause like I said, you never know somebody really beefing. Then 2 weeks later you find out, somebody did somebody cousin or cousin like did something bad and you like, dang, but we could have fixed that
Mm-hmm.
like last week.
I don't think a lot of family members like to take accountability or just be real with themselves. You ain't got to be real to be. At least be real with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I don't think a lot of people do that. So I think that would have to be the first step.
That's just that's that pride for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm be 100 with you.
Pride and delusion.
Mm.
You think so?
I definitely think it's a delusion.
Okay, talk to me then. Talk to me then.
Cause I feel like you kind of brainwashed yourself
Mm-hmm.
into thinking, oh, I never did that, or I didn't do it to offend you or anything like that. No, you did. You had that intent in that moment, but now that somebody called you out on it, now it's I didn't do that.
Depends on the situation, what's going on. But I definitely think pride gets in the way because pride go before destruction. So it definitely gets in the way of like actually trying to communicate and actually fix the problem at hand. Um, so would y'all say the families or anybody like how can someone begin to identify like the behaviors and the beliefs that delusion you're talking about? Are they like and do you think we just inherit them or like they just like or like we choose to be like that because we see it like Cash said?
A little bit of both.
Elaborate.
um, I agree with what he said. Environment plays a role. What you see every day plays a role into the the main product
Mm,
of who you are.
mm.
So like me personally, my dad, he
We going deep
has
like
some
that?
yeah, we going
Oh,
we
talk to me then. I just want to make sure what we're doing. I just make
Look, we
sure what we're
here.
doing. I just make sure. Go ahead.
But no, he used to have like substance abuse problems.
Mm,
But to find out his dad had substance abuse problems.
mm.
I have a sister, she suffers with that too. Um and I think it's just because that one I think it's inherited.
Mm.
I mean, cause like we didn't grow up with our dad, so I do feel like it's inherited.
I would say this. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't. You know more about your family than me,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely would say I know. There's a story that probably a lot of y'all probably heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
This two kids that grew up with an alcoholic father. You know what I'm saying? So one, turned out to be alcoholic just like his father,
Mm.
but the other one, didn't become the alcoholic like his father because he saw what it did
Mm-hmm.
to the family or to them. So he chose to go the different route. So it is it is inherited, but I think at a certain age
It
where you
stops.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say stop, but you have a chance to,
Or a choice.
a choice and chance to fix your ways or, change. Because at the end of the day, we make decisions. and decisions are, decisions going, the decisions we make in life have consequences, whether they're good, whether they're bad.
Mhm.
So I think everybody know right from wrong when they get 16 at least. But I would say 18. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna give him a little, you know what I'm saying, give him a little room, push him to 18.
Mhm.
But we a lot of times the stuff is just mentality, but it does get hard though, because you got to break the curses. That
Mhm.
stuff that just happens, it happens. Because if you got great grandpa, grandpa, dad, and they always alcoholics. Shit, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be hard. You just seeing that, how to break that. But what are, like, how do we fix that? Like, what are the things we can do to break that curse? Because everybody say they want to break generational curses, but I think a lot of times they just saying about the money. For sure though, everybody get a bag, but like we should be. I mean, if we fix a lot of our mentality, we fix our mind, that can definitely help out the bag even more. So y'all talk to me, tell me things that we can do to fix that, especially in the black community, because I'm seeing like we need that definitely support.
Mm,
Um,
I would say
I
therapy.
go ahead.
One is therapy. It's okay to talk to someone.
Yeah,
Get professional help, especially if you're dealing with trauma.
yeah,
I feel like you at least have therapy and like consider therapy. Um, don't be like you said. Don't be too prideful to get help or to voice your emotions. Um, you have to, and you also have to be accountable. Like she said, you
Mhm.
can't, point the finger. Well, I was raised like this, or you know, when I grew up, I seen this. To me, that's excuses.
Mhm.
After a while, that shit an excuse.
that's what I'm saying.
You 25, you talking about my daddy wasn't there. So
Why you got to be? Why you got to
Why
do
you
that?
said
Why
it?
you got
So
like, okay, like nigga, grown ass man, you still crying for your daddy. Like, no, I'm not trying to be like, on that, but at the same time, you gotta grow up, bro. Your daddy wasn't there, boo hoo. Get over it. Life is not
That's how
gonna
you feeling?
yeah, cause life
I gotta go through that. That's
yeah,
how you feeling?
because life, nigga, like your car payment, them car people, they not, oh, your daddy wasn't here. They gonna
Worry about
tow your shit.
that. Worry about
Yeah, nigga, they gonna hook your shit up, nigga. Like for real. So that's what I'm saying. Like after a while, it becomes an excuse. So before it get to the point where you finna explode or you're a whole different person,
Hmm.
go seek help. Talk to trusted family and friends. Be accountable
Mhm.
and like we always say, number one thing is pray.
Yeah,
Get in the church, find you a church home, and talk to God, and that's gonna be really the roadmap to everything.
Mhm.
facts.
I would say, we all need to become in unison, just like this podcast, the More Life podcast, Mid Melon podcast, any platforms out there that are, advocates for the community, advocates for young kids, progressing the next generation. I believe we need to have more like this, to kind of create a space where we can, open up and be authentic and share our stories just to let people know that they're not out here alone. Because I mean, I know there's many of people, who go through things and they think like the world's just against them,
Mm,
when in fact it's many people that went through these same traumas and issues. So I believe the people just need to have a voice. Everybody need to have a voice. I mean, God gonna, select who have a voice. Everybody don't need to be saying nothing. Everybody don't need to be saying nothing, but he'll choose the right people, to create that haven in order to, help people who want to be helped.
facts.
Um, I would say find some people who have gotten over that hurdle.
Mm,
Connect with them.
Mm,
mm,
I realized I meet a lot of people who have like mother wounds.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. How did you deal with that? Uh and the stories are really crazy. Some stories I've heard are crazy, and then some they just go no contact.
Mm,
So I would say find some like minded people,
Yeah.
people who have gone through what you are going through.
mm,
Um, I think at every day, because what y'all saying is valid. That's like a very long process that has to develop over time.
mm,
But I think like day by day, cycles that we can do is just when something happened or a situation arises, you can pause. Instead of just ready to react.
mm,
you can also like apologize to like your kids or anybody in your family when you do something wrong or you feel like you're in the wrong. Um and like you said, setting those boundaries with like toxic family members.
Mm.
Um not really being like not trying to make it seem like they're a burden to you,
Mhm.
but like just reclaiming like the power you have in yourself to bring that out and make sure you move in the right light and it doesn't mess you up mentally. But Cash, you brought up the unison and the unity that we need for like the healing that everybody should get. But how can communities heal together from like shared generational wounds?
I mean, y'all kind of really just kind of went through that earlier. Just we got to be more of a community first. We got to be comfortable, sharing our, the things we went through. We got to be comfortable with, having a voice, because you never know who you're helping. You may just tell your story and think it's nothing, but you never know who the lives that you touch
Facts.
from telling your story. How many people you help? You'll never see the results on the forefront. But some people may come down the line and tell you, "Hey, man, I remember that show way back, a couple of years ago. That really helped me and that put me on a better path, and I thank you for that."
Mm,
So I mean, you'll never get those, but you may come across those, on your journey, to healing the community. You just really got to have a voice, and tell your story. That's
facts.
I'm big on that.
Facts.
I think everything starts with self. I don't
Mm.
think I can help
Facts.
the next person if I can't help myself.
Right.
Right.
So I would say pour into me, whether that's starting a fast, whether
Mm.
that's, talking to God, whether that's praying, whatever that looks like for that person.
Mm,
But I would start with myself first.
facts. I mean that's just like we hear all the time like sweep under your doorstep. Make sure your doorstep clean before you try to sweep under somebody else's.
Right.
Um, I do got a verse that kind of helps with what we got going on. We got a verse for V. Little my boy Cash got a pregame, so I got a verse for V. Throw it out there, but the verse I do have is Matthew 11, verse 28 through 30. And it reads, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Basically, at the end of the day, God understands that everybody goes through stuff.
Mm.
Everybody, has um, wounds. Everybody has, trauma that they have in their life from family, from friends, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think me personally, if you follow God in that right light, He's definitely gonna bring you to a way to have that peace.
Mm.
So, like y'all saying, it might not go away, but
Mm.
it still will give you like a peace and joy that doesn't affect you as much as it did, or does affect you at all at that point,
Mm.
wherever going through your journey that you need to. But we had some good topics today, and then as we kind of wrap up the show, what everybody go down the line, what kind of advice, some free game that you could give for somebody going through this situation?
Hmm. Um,
Dig deep now, dig deep.
Mm.
your feelings are valid. Your story needs to be heard.
Mm.
It is okay if it offends others.
Mm,
Speak your truth.
mhm. Question on that though.
Mm.
What's up?
Feelings are valid.
Mm-hmm. What you gonna say?
Hold on. Let me get it out. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Feelings are valid though. But like if somebody feels something, it's not completely true. Like I get it. We have feelings like something happens, but like if you had a feeling because you think somebody did this or you think a certain way, but that certain way is not true, should those feelings be valid?
You always got a little twist.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't watch
You
y'all.
know what I'm saying?
You always got a
You know
little
what I'm saying?
twist.
You know what I'm saying?
I would just say perception is everything,
Facts.
and I'm gonna leave it with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I like that though.
All
I
right.
like that. I like that.
You ain't finna trip me up today.
Talk to me, brother. What y'all got? Good
Uh,
gems, man. Get some good diamonds out there.
I would say just find your own identity. Find
Yeah.
yourself. Don't be just so easy. Just do what you see. You know, whatever your family got going on, whatever their trauma is, the generations that is affect your family, you ain't always got to partake in that
Yeah.
just cause it's I guess that's the family name. That's what we got to do and stuff like that. Cause you don't have to partake in those things. Be yourself. Be who God named you.
Yeah.
Like your name Frank. You don't need to be trying to sell blue magic. You're not an American gangster, bro. Like God didn't bestow that upon you. Just as your daddy named Frank and your pop, like no, Frank Lucas, that's not you, bro. It's not you, for it's a fiction movie, bro. Like just
Facts.
don't be doing that, bro. You got to be yourself at the end of the day. You got to be on this lonely road, and you got to seek God in order to find what's your purpose here to do. So I just wanted you to be yourself. Find yourself. I'm gonna say find yourself. Be yourself and find yourself.
Wrap it up for us, brother.
I would say, give yourself time to heal.
Yeah.
Don't rush the process when you're dealing with trauma or something like that. Get all your emotions out. Um, don't don't shut everything in. Get everything out. Take it one day at a time, and tell yourself every day that God have, you know, He's gonna brighten up my days for me.
Facts.
Even though it might be rainy, it might be muddy right now, but just know that once you get in that word and you welcome God into your life, He's not gonna have you in mud
Mm.
all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta understand everybody go through the pain, everybody go through the rain, everybody go through the cries. But it's the ones that keep him close, have that same composure, even when you're successful or when you're failing. They still keep God up there at the highest pedestal. They're the ones that conquer it all. And you know, everybody go through something. Like you gotta always understand somebody is always going through something worse.
Mhm.
Um, and as long as God keep waking you up in the morning, be thankful, be grateful. I know it's easier said than done because sometimes I don't want to say I'd be ungrateful, but I'd be kind of questioning like why like certain things are happening or why I'm not in a position where I want to be. But at the same time, I catch myself because I know that God is working and
Mhm.
God would never stop working. So long as I'm not giving up on myself. If God not giving up on you, why would you do that? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So it don't matter what happens in your life, man. Just get up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just keep getting up. Like God, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I'm gonna get through this, and you will.
Mm.
So keep that on your mind and just keep it pushing and give yourself time to heal and get to know yourself in that journey. Like do stuff alone. Like it's okay to go eat alone.
Mhm.
It's okay to go to the movies alone. Sinners is out. Go to the movies alone. I know y'all be taking girls out to Sinners like 2 to 3 times.
Yeah,
20
Hey,
times
it's my favorite part.
crazy.
Looking at.
I like you ain't never seen it, but it's good to do stuff alone, man. To really understand and get to know yourself before you even
Yeah.
come together and try to build a family or involve in somebody else.
Yeah.
I definitely y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all said what y'all basically answer the question. But definitely, yeah, like y'all mentioned, be patient with yourself. Um, the work that you're trying to put in can be triggering.
Mm.
But also like liberating to yourself.
Mm.
Start small, maybe write down some things, talk to some people that you have like and when we say talk to some people, make sure you talk to somebody that really got some sound advice for you.
Mhm.
For real.
Don't
For
talk to, what I'm saying, bro down the block and he, what I'm saying, he not even got nothing going for himself, you know what I'm saying? But like, and just, notice the patterns that going through or that you went through and have an understanding that you're trying to notice the patterns for your understanding and understand that you're doing it to gain your power back and make a different decision, a better decision than you're doing it before.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, y'all hit everything on the nose. I think it was one of y'all said, just, stuff could be triggering. So
Yep.
we kind of basically got to keep a level head and keep it moving.
Got to, bro.
Yeah, I guess I just tell my story. My generational traumas is, I guess, sickness, because my father's mother died of cancer at a young age, and then my father died at cancer at a young age. So,
Yeah.
you know, that thought's always at the back of my head, like, dang, what if this,
Yeah.
come to me? And that kind of, it's scary sometimes, especially when you have like a little mishap in health. You like, oh shit, like what's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Be active, vigilant. What's going on? I mean, and that kind of for some people makes way for purpose because I mean, I do fitness and stuff like that, so that kind of made way for me to also deal with breaking, I guess, generational traumas, and being there and living a very long life. So I believe that in your traumas, you can find your purpose. You can find why you're here. And I enjoy trying to help people, get in better shape. I mean, it's definitely something that I look forward to, but it's always at the back of my mind. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you just gotta work through it, and I mean, do what I can,
Facts.
honestly.
But no, we touched up on a lot today. We definitely, appreciate the audience tuning in like always. Um, Go ahead, shout us out, man. We appreciate the guest, man. She came on and dropped some gems for us, gave us a great conversation, gave us some great advice for our community. You got, something you want to let the family know you got coming up, or let them know your hashtags, shout it out.
Okay. Y'all can follow me at the More Life Pod, TheMorelifepod.
Hmm.
Golly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But you can follow me at the More Life Pod. Um, I do have merch. Cop that.
yeah.
What else? What else? I got an episode dropping. It's called Bloodlines and Lifelines. So I'll be talking about how my family dynamic affects my friendships. So that's coming out Tuesday. Y'all go watch, tune in, and I appreciate y'all bringing me on here.
You know what I'm saying? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? No, we definitely appreciate you for joining. Like again, make sure y'all, make sure y'all subscribe. Let us know what y'all want to hear. Y'all can follow us individually, or you can follow us on the main page at Men and Melanin. That's MENNMELANIN. But other than that, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we out.